Shalom, first and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Rakakadash, double honors to the elders and apostles, the great millstone, who would teach us truth and sincerity, and a shout out to Yakim that's out there in four corners of the earth proclaiming this truth. Braga the Yahweh, Braga the Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Rakakadash, Brakatum. So, just reading some of the articles here as we're looking at, the end of Esau and the beginning of Jacob that ruleth afterwards, as we're coming to the knowledge of who we are and we're standing on our own 2 feet, proclaiming this truth. And it's been going out to the whole world, so now, pretty much the revelation of who Yahushai really is, that he's not a so-called white man, that he is, in fact, a Jake. In other words, he is of dark skin, having hair white like wool and feet like unto fine brass as if burned through a furnace, and that none of these other images that we were given match that. In fact, doesn't even match the name, alone, because we find out that he has a Hebrew name. Now this has come into knowledge, so they can't put out stretch Christianity. So there's nothing more but prophecy to come now. And the spirit of prophecy is the word of Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai. Jabhat al-Nusra terrorists continue to prevent civilians in Idlib from leaving the safe zones via Abu al-Dohar corridor. Syrian Arab news agencies reported said that the 19th consecutive day of al-Nusra terrorists are preventing civilians from approaching Abu al-Dohar corridor so they can continue to use them as human shields. The reporters said that the preparations by the authorities to receive those who wish to leave are at full readiness, with ambulances, a medical checkup point, buses, and trucks loaded with food are available at the corridor. So pretty much these terrorist groups, which the United States and Turkey, their former ally, support. And that's the war on terror. Gomer, who are Amalekites, had this to say. Turkey's patience with the United Snakes over safe zone in northern Syria running out. And this is Erdogan, that old fuckface dickhead, because of course we know that, pretty much he's been playing both sides. But, yeah, all these nations are going to turn against Babylon. President Erdogan says Turkey's patience with the United Snakes over the creation of the so-called safe zone in the northeastern part of Syria, which is really a safe zone for terrorist groups such as ISIS and all them, but you see it differs with Turkey, Gomer's terrorist groups, al-Nusra Front and Tarat al-Sham. Part of Syria by the end of the current month is running out. Everything's in the guise of fighting ISIS, but nobody's really fighting ISIS. They're just really looking to continue to escalate this war, because let's face it, the Syrian Arab Army only has the rest of those other proxies to take out. Indicated that Ankara would launch an imminent cross-border offensive to push back militants for the Kurdish people's units from border areas. We have not achieved any of the results we desired in the east of the Euphrates. The only reason of our existence in Syria is that the terror threat toward our borders has turned a barrier to preventing the return of the Syrians, Erdogan said at the parliament opening ceremony in the capital Ankara on Tuesday. So, pretty much motherfucker's lying through his teeth. You and I both know, though, that this is really just about stalling, so that way Syria can't be liberated from these terrorist groups. Basically just trying to protect his terror groups, as you can see here. So, all these places are occupying Syria, and they have an illegal presence there. And this is going on. IRGC disproved invincibility of U.S. military senior Iranian general. So in other words, they're saying, hey, you fucking piece of shit, America, you're not invincible. We'll fucking put a boot in your fucking ass. You try to fuck with us. Iran's Major General Qassem Soleimani said the Islamic Revolution Guard Corps has successfully shattered the invincibility myth of the U.S. military. Soleimani, who commands the IRGC's Quds forces, said Tuesday that the IRGC smashed the grandeur of the world's largest and most equipped army, which is that of America. He added that the elite force succeeded in exposing the hollow nature of the U.S. military for the world to see. The senior military official further highlighted the developments unfolding in the region as well as the strategic and miraculous impact that the anti-Israel resistance could leave on future equations. They're adding the road has been paved for the victory over enemies. Yes, so in other words, at least their flock is pretty much, going to draw them into this because, of course, without the United States, fucking Israeli state, they'd have nothing. The senior military official further highlighted the developments unfolded in the region as well as the strategic and miraculous impact that the anti-Israel resistance front could leave on future equations, then adding the road has been paved for the victory over our enemies. So, I guess I reiterated that. However, cautioned that we should keep acting with wisdom, just like in the past 20 years during which we have crippled and defeated the enemy using a variety of strategies and methods. Tensions has been running high in the Middle East since May, when the U.S. began stepping its military presence in the Middle East, a year after a multilateral nuclear deal with Iran. In June, the U.S. sent an advanced drone into Iranian airspace on a spying mission. The RGC was quick to shoot the intriguing Global Hawk surveillance drone down after several warnings. And by God, that's what they needed to do. Okay, that's habitual, slack for that. But, that's what they needed to do, because, of course, they pretty much, it's pretty much said that they hammer the whole earth. Now, they're not afraid anymore. On the same day that the drone was shot down, U.S. President Donald Trump took to Twitter to call off a retaliatory strike on targets in Iran, citing casualties. He also said in the day he was ready to talk with Iranian officials. Tehran, however, rejected Trump's pretext, with Chairman of Chiefs of Staff of the Iranian Forces, General Mohammed, saying Trump called off the strike not for the stated purpose of preventing casualties, but because the U.S. Army convinced him that he could not actually attack Iran due to its serious repercussions. So in other words, man, they were able to fan off an attack. See, it is Amalek that's going to attack them, and then the U.S. is going to go in to back them, at least the flock drawing them out. That's how this thing's going to play out. One more here. U.S. military pullout from Qatar indicates instability in Washington. This is from an analyst. So we're going to go ahead and play this video here. Then I'll be back with some scriptures.
There are a couple of possible explanations for the withdrawal of the U.S. command from Qatar back to the continental United States. Clearly, the overarching concern would be to deprive Iran of a major target in case of an outbreak of hostilities. This could be seen in two ways. One is that the United States is moving forward towards some sort of strike on Iran, and we are trying to reduce our vulnerability. The other one is that we're not intending such a strike, but this is a contingency. I don't know which explanation is better. With the removal of John Bolton from the White House, I think Secretary of State Pompeo is largely in charge of American policy, especially with Mr. Trump, I think, totally preoccupied with the question of impeachment. We're still in a period of great instability and unpredictability in terms of the course of events. I just hope that cooler heads prevail and that this is not a preparation to the United States doing something, I think, very, very stupid with respect to Iran.
So not so long ago, it almost seems like in a galaxy far, far away, because, man, I'm telling you, for quite a while now, these countries have been standing up to the United States superpower, so it seems like a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, because, man, America is hated on all fronts, man, and, Egyptian against Egyptian, I will set them, scriptures like that, man, you're seeing it play out. But I'm going to read out Jeremiah chapter 49, because we're seeing this, man, ever since Operation Iraqi Freedom, and maybe even before that, but in particularly, man, people were opposed to going into Iraq. They're like, what? Kuwait was liberated. Why do we need to go to Iraq again, you know? And people were against that war. You know, you heard opposition. Bush led us into a war, and Bush did. So people started speaking out against him. You know, so they don't even have the support of their own people, man. Let alone the rest of the world, man. It's like, we gotta fucking do something, you know? And that's what's been happening ever since that time period in particularly. Jeremiah chapter 49 and verse 15, for lo, I will make thee small among the heathen, and despised among men. You know? People are tired of these goddamn fucking red Hebrew Edomites. Thy terribleness has deceived thee, and the pride of thine heart. O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks. Again, talk about your red Hebrew Edomites. That holdest the height of the hill, you know. Thinks that you're invincible, you know. You fucking red Hebrew Edomites. Though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle, I will bring thee down from thence, saith the Most High. And that's what's happening now, man. You don't dwell on the high anymore. Man, it is just fucking collapsing, and it's a good thing. Also, Edom shall be a desolation. Everyone that goeth by it shall be astonished, and shall hiss at the plagues thereof. You know, again, when this place is destroyed. As in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah, and the neighbor cities thereof, saith the Most High. No man shall abide there, neither shall the Son of Man dwell in it. That's right, because this place is going to be destroyed. In 1 hour, it's going to come down. 1 hour, this place will no longer be. Like I showed yesterday in Missile Command, you know, these people that make them video games, they know this is coming. Behold, he shall come up like a lion from the swelling of Jordan against the habitation of the strong. But I will suddenly make him run away from her. And who is chosen man, that I may appoint over her? For who is like me? And who will appoint me the tide? And who is that shepherd that will stand before me? Thus, talking about Yahweh Shai, you know, because only he could be that shepherd, you know. Therefore, hear the counsel of the Most High that he hath taken against Edom, and his purposes, that he hath purposed against the inhabitants of Tedan. Surely the least of the flock, talking about the Amalekites, shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. In other words, America's going to be wiped out at the same time when he destroys them goddamn fucking gutter rats once and for all. The earth is moved at the noise of their fall, at the cry of the noise thereof was heard in the Red Sea. So at the same time, you know, the Red Sea, that's a clear indicator that not only are the Amalekites going to be wiped out, but so is, well, just keep on reading. Behold, he shall come up and fly as the eagle and spread his wings over Bozrah. Talk about Yahweh Shai and the big, huge chariot. And at the day shall the mighty men of Edom be as the heart of a woman in her pangs. Yeah, because they're going to see Babylon the Great being destroyed, not only by them missiles, but by them chariots, just like they show you in the Missile Command game. But at the same time this is going on, concerning Damascus, Hamath is confounded, which, and Arpad, for this is the Middle East and North Africa, for they have heard evil tidings, they are faint-hearted, there is sorrow on the sea, it cannot be quiet. So this war is going to be all over that area. Damascus is waxed feeble, and turns herself to flee, and fear has seized on her. Anguish and sorrows have taken her, as a woman in travail. Yeah, because at this time, Amalek, the least of their flock drawn out into them, will have destroyed Damascus. How is the city of praise not left, the city of my joy? Therefore shall her young men fall in the streets, and all the men of war shall be cut off in that day, saith the Lord of hosts. Again, this is talking about when Yahweh Shai and the angels shall cut off all the men of war. They shall try to fight him, but they will lose. And I will kindle a fire in the wall of Damascus, and it shall consume the palaces of Benadad. So this is prophecy that at the same time Babylon the Great is being destroyed, at the same time Damascus will be destroyed. And this is one of the future prophecies. It's not too far. You know, it's not so distant from now. But there's just a few things that have to come into play. You know, the mark of the beast, the RFID chip, will soon be mandatory. And, of course, martial law will be in effect. Those are the things we're waiting for. and yet it's getting closer. Hope all this has been edifying. For that, I want to say Bracha the Yahweh, Bracha the Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, Wa Abab Abal. Bracha Tam Yehovah Elect.